LOKOCAMP viral interviews. Today I got special guest DJ.KING ASSASSIN.
OG Rudy Loko.
What's up, big dog? Mic check, mic check.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. You know how we do it.
That's what's up.
Live and direct, man. Live and direct.
Man, we live. We're doing it raw. I got the legendary DJ.KING ASSASSIN in the house. What up, big dog?
OG Rudy Loko. What's up, man? How
You
you
know
doing?
what's good, doggy? How you? Is everything over there, dog?
And everything's good, man. Just, just dealing with all the different things, that happens in life. The reality of, losing people to, the reality of what you have to do next and how to cope with it and all the different, mixed emotions that go along with it. It's been a hard one, through my whole time, through my whole career of dealing with close friends to them, coming and going, not just Tupac and his mom, a lot of others, in real life, it's a real situation, that we all go through and everybody has to go through it. We can't escape death, but at the same time, we have to learn to cope with things and be positive at the same time. But I sure appreciate being on your show, OG Rudy Loko.
No, man, it's a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on so we could drop some knowledge for these people and for them young cats out there that are coming up that don't know what's up. They're about to know what's up. You know what I mean? We're gonna break them off soon.
That's right, man. I appreciate everything that you do, and the kids out there, and even the OGs, that are tuned in. That's what it's all about. It's all about definitely, teaching kids how to, get the best out of the music business, man. Because this music business, it changed from the time I've been in it to the time it is now, and I know kind of like the best worlds. I know the best of both worlds when it comes down to how it used to be a physical product type of game to a digital type of game. So the main thing, I can tell all the kids out there is to definitely be in tune as far as the internet, because the internet is the main way to sell. Now before, it was cassette tapes and records that we had to, pull out the trunk and whatnot. Now that's all gone, right? OG Rudy Loko.
Yep.
We don't have cassette tapes. Thank God I don't come back from the era before that with 8 tracks. So my era and time, I come from the best of both worlds. Like I say, man, even when it comes to California, my parents, they were born, out here in Southern California, Ventura County, and also out there in Holtville and Empire County. That's where they're originally from. Then they later moved to the Bay Area, out there, Oakland, Frisco, San Jose. I grew up there too. So, and then later moved back out over here to LA, man. It's a situation where I kind of got both tastes of, because there's so many different coasts. If you think about it, it's like a different coast going to Northern California. Yeah. So different types of styles of music. So I was able to, grab both elements of when it came to gangster rap music and just West Coast music in general, and kind of like sew it all up together. And I know a lot of people want to know about the history with me and Tupac, but the history is so deep. And I'm gonna let you ask me some questions too, but I just have to let everybody know me and Pac go back to before he was even famous. We actually got connected through Shock G, which is the guy that kind of like blew everybody up. So
that's what's up.
He's the man. Yeah, he's the man responsible for me even making beats and doing stuff like that. Like he taught me a lot. Keys, how to play the keys, how to sample stuff and put different elements into order and making songs.
People want to know, like, how does DJ.KING ASSASSIN know Pac? From where or what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what have you produced? How long you've known him? A lot of people say they know Pac, but Pac knew a lot of people too. But he had a small circle. You know what I mean? And just wondering what you thought.
Well, this is the whole thing about when it comes to Tupac. When he was around, and if you were a rapper and if you were a producer or whatever, you ran into Pac if you were doing music at that time, especially if you were in the Bay Area. When we was in the Bay, in Frisco, Marin City, the Jungle, all that you can't help but run into the same people because everybody's doing the same shows. Just like, when we're doing shows out over here, you run into the same cast that are pushing on their music. You know what I mean? So that's just how it was with Pac. We always ran into each other. It wasn't until later on that we actually got together and started making music, and that was when we came out to LA. You know what I mean? So we was out here. He said, "Oh yeah, my Oakland boy." You know what I mean? So it was like, it was an automatic connection because Shock was already making music out here and lived out here in Topanga. So it was at that time. I don't know if he lived at that house on Topanga, but I know he does now. But everybody was just out here and we were just making music and just having fun. And that's when we created a lot of the different songs that we did. Of course, we had other songs that were older, and we got the newer songs that people know about. The Real Bad Boys was probably one of the songs that I'm mostly known for, besides the heavy underground, all-out version where he goes off on everybody. It's like a talking about we can't rap, right? So, you know what I mean? So there's those songs, and then there's extended remixes that I did too. Not to mention a lot of the cuts that I did scratching on for Tupac. I did a lot of scratching for him. You know what I mean? That's why everybody calls me Tupac the DJ, because I'm known for that, for being scratching on his song. Same thing with Eazy. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but I never got the credit on a lot of the Eazy stuff. For Eazy, it's a trip, man, because I told his son the same thing when I worked with him. And he knows the real of what goes on with DJ.KING Assassin as far as the scratch and all that. I hooked up with Rhythm D and a guy by the name of Stephon Killer Roach. Probably about Killer Roach now, but we were just kids in Echo Sound, and this was Rock and Los Feliz Boulevard. We're talking about over 20 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we were recording there. I was actually doing production at the time for a group named Boss that were out of Detroit. It was 2 girls, and he was going solo out of the group, so I was in the studio, and then Stephon the Roach Killer comes up to me in the studio and was like, "Hey man, want to come do some scratch on this record?" Because they knew I was a DJ. Everybody knew it. They know, DJs were kind of like hard to find back then, and if you found one, then that was good, especially and you used them. And a lot of people used me back in the days to do scratch, and I had no problem with it. And I didn't really even trip at the time for credits or make sure you put my name on the record. I didn't care. I was just a kid drinking. As long as you had a 40 ounce for me and a little bit of smoke, I was good. You know what I mean? I didn't trip because I do that all day as far as
that's love right there, man. Love for the music, you know what I mean?
Yep. So, they put me in the studio. I was in the studio with Rhythm D, and Rhythm D was pulling up all kinds of tracks, and I scratched on all kinds of different things. I mean, just go all out. You know what I mean? That's what I did. I went all out and did some scratch. Had a little scratch session. And from that scratch session, he took the parts that he wanted and put them into the songs. You know what I mean? And I remember sending Eazy some stuff even prior, before this. Of different cuts where he was dissing Dr. Dre and all that, but in the cut it was all, boy, you should have known by now. Eazy does it. Different parts like that made sense. And later on, that came to be when you hear real motherfucking G's, that concept. You know what I mean? So I kind of did the same concept with, but not dissing anybody. And that wasn't, I had nothing against Dr. Dre. I didn't even know Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? I looked up to Dr. Dre. I still look up to Dr. Dre. That wasn't nothing done intentionally. It was just something that I knew what was going on, and I had to, play with it to make it make sense if it's going to be a diss record. So,
that's what's up.
With Lil E, which is E3, we did the resurrection of Eazy-E. And that song, I did the scratching on there, and Chronological, he did the beat. And he's from the United Kingdom, so he's, from a whole nother continent, but his stuff sounds so West Coast is crazy, right? So, I did the scratching over that. I scratched all the Compton parts when you hear Compton. That's in there. That's from the original Dazzy D record. Compton's in the house, and
that's a big part too, though. Like that's all you ever hear is Compton in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like even like just how it is back then, huh? They just take little pieces, huh?
You know what? That's what made the song OG Rudy Loko was the scratching back in the days, and we'll talk about that, in a second when I get into the Tupac stuff. But that's what made the record. And Eazy is the perfect example of them parts. When they come in, they kind of hype you up when you hear them parts of scratching. Like, boy, you should have known by now. Eazy does it. But Eazy, you know, all that. Like, I came up with them parts of scratching, the Michelle and all that stuff. And that was taken from Radio, which was one of his hit songs. That song that he had called "I'm on the Radio." You remember that song, Radio, from Eazy, the Greg Mack attack. You know, doing the inserts in that. Big shout out to Greg Mack, good friend. K-Day, original K-Day. Shout out to all the mixed master DJs over there. DJ Aladdin, everybody, Spin Masters, good old OG Ice-T, man. That's another cat that I work with, and he is the epitome when it comes to bringing this gangster West Coast rap in order. You know what I mean? Like, he is the creator. Colors.
Sick, man.
Yeah, you know, he is the type of dude, Ice-T, that will take shit to a whole nother level, especially when he got into the body count stuff. So, like he'll go from point A to point B in a heartbeat and trip everybody out. I mean, who would ever think out of everybody, you know, Ice-T would play a cop in, you know, his theory. You know what I mean? So, he's a cop killer.
From New Jack City to cop.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, who else can, you know, do a song called Cop Killer and later on be in a series, you know, playing the cop, only that he can do that. And that shows the dynamics of the flexibility of how we can be as artists, how we can be as labels, how we can be as people just in general. I mean, don't ever limit yourself to anything. You know what I mean? Or don't ever think just because somebody's a gangster rapper that they're living that life and they're out there banging that shit, because we know these streets are real. We know if you're banging some shit like that and you're so-called being true with whatever you do and you know, throw up gang signs that, you know, to any person out there, there's going to be, you know, some, for every action, there's a reaction. And that's either dead or locked up in jail. You know what I mean? Just like when I see the Colors, in the end, you know, it was a straight up gangster song, straight up, and in the end, please stop, I want y'all to live. And that's what this is about, man. It's all about preserving life right now, because California, we've been through the banging, we've been through the slang, we've been through all that already, and we don't want to see our kids go through the same shit that we've been through, and we don't want that happening. We want to better ourselves as a culture, as a people, and learn to get along and learn to make money and be prosperous, besides, you know, still living in the gutters that we're used to being living in. That's what it's all about, man. And I think a lot of the hip-hop artists, and especially a cat like Ice-T, really expressed that early in his career. You know what I mean? And same with Tupac, because Pac was the type of dude that would help out communities, and, you know, he was thinking of starting baseball teams and coaching football teams before anybody else did in this industry. I remember because he was talking about it. So, you know, those are things that help the kids become active. When the kids are active and they're happy, they're not going to be out there gangbanging. They're not going to be out there, you know, serving on the block. You know what I mean? They're not going to be out there slanging. And that's what it's all about. And I think we had talked about this a long time ago. Rudy Loko, about, you know, Pico and everything. You know what I mean? When you be out there in Pico, it was just something that, you know, you grow up into, and if you spend so much time out there, you eventually catch up to you. But that's because why? Because we didn't have, you know, a lot of shit to do back then. Can I cuss on here?
No, it's all good, brother. You could smoke, you could drink, you know what I mean? You could do whatever you want, doggy.
That's what's up, yeah. So, you know, like when we have extra time to do things, I think that's when we tend to get into other things. You know what I mean? Like if we don't have a set program to run off of, as kids or even somebody even older, it doesn't matter. You have to learn to have a schedule and kind of go about it, because if not, and you have too much free time on your hands, too much free time is too much bad time, especially if you come from the world that we come from. You know what I mean? So that's just reality.